Why did Lord Krishna choose Arjuna to receive his guidance in the form of the Bhagavad Gita while all of the 5 Pandava brothers were present? It couldn't have been a decision made at random. Yudhishthira moved to the opposing side where Bhishma and his mentor Drona were positioned to engage the Pandavas before the battle of Kurukshetra began. Before the fight started, Yudhishthira asked for their blessings. They predicted that ultimately, Dharma will prevail. Yudhishthira was already aware that Dharma was on his side. In making his requests to the Kauravas, he had been more than reasonable. However, they had rejected each and every one of his offers, making peace with them impossible. Yudhishthira felt confident that fighting them was the proper course to take. He was aware that he was engaged in a dharmic conflict. So there was no doubt in his mind, as far as he was concerned. Bhima was eager to engage in combat and was unconcerned with dharmic issues. However, Arjuna was the one who was having mental issues. He understood that, as a warrior, he was obligated to engage in combat and could not flee. But, how could he ever murder Drona or Bhishma? This was the dilemma in which he got trapped. Therefore, he required instruction. Because of this, Krishna offered him guidance through the Gita. Arjuna bowed to Krishna and asked him to dispel his concerns. Brahma Vidya was what Krishna had revealed to him through the Gita. An Acharya is the only one who can teach this secret shastra to another person. The Upanishad contains the tale of Satyakama. Satyakama learned the Brahma Vidya through Agni, a swan, and a diver bird. Yet, he still asked his instructor sage Gautama to train him because a guru is the only person who can teach the Brahma Vidya. Arjuna was given this most secret sastra by Krishna after he was knocked to the ground. In addition to being among the top warriors in India at the time, Arjuna was one of the 5 Pandava brothers who took part in the battle. Everything was tested throughout that battle. As we understand from the Bhagavad Gita, the war was intended to eradicate evil and restore Dharma, for which great destruction was necessary. As a result, the old chapter had to end in the history of human civilization, and a new chapter and a new era were about to begin. As a result, every famous warrior was destined to fight in the epic conflict for the Pandavas or the Kauravas. Arjuna was the closest to Lord Krishna and was responsive to advice, therefore, he was chosen by Krishna. Secondly, he had the attributes of a devout believer and was a warrior of great virtue. Thirdly, he was waging the battle for the proper reason, to aid his brother in regaining the kingdom and his diminished status, rather than for personal gain. Fourthly, he represented the mind in the human body as he was the personification of Indra, the Lord of the heavens, who is also known as the Lord of the senses. The most significant component of the human personality is the mind. The mind is the one that requires persuasion in all matters. The knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is only intended for the mind in preparation for the self's eventual liberation. Fifthly, Arjuna was bound to encounter moral conundrums because he would be murdering some of the strongest warriors on the opposing side, whom he had a great deal of respect for. He had to kill Drona, his own teacher, Bhishma, who was his own grandfather, and Karna, a person of high virtue and a legendary warrior. He would be employing some dubious and cunning tactics in each of these killings to complete his mission because each of the 3 was endowed with unique abilities and divine favors. The direction of the conflict would have changed if he had faltered or hesitated in his duties. Lastly, Arjuna lacked the necessary understanding of Dharma, in contrast to Dharmaraja, the oldest of the brothers. Even less informed was Bhima. He had an unwavering resolve to fight the Kauravas as he remembered the humiliation caused by Kauravas to his wife and his brothers. But Arjuna, on the other hand, lacked the same resolve and wavered in his own thoughts of right and wrong, confused by his own moral dilemma. Arjuna was not really the wisest nor the strongest among the Pandavas. The wisest was Sahadev, while the strongest was undoubtedly Bhima. But he was chosen by Lord Krishna because he was the closest to him, and he could understand the meaning behind the words of Sri Krishna. If you like the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us as well.